Hot shit. Check it out. Hit you with no delaying, so what you saying, yo? Silly with my 9 milli with the dilly, yo. When I be on the mic, yes, I do my duty, yo. While up in the club like we while in the studio.
What's going on, guys? I want to welcome you to the Grown Folks Man League. I'm making this video so that we can kind of explain what we're all about and what we do and how we kind of operate and kind of the history behind our league. So this is going to be for current members to kind of catch up on some rules and some things that we're trying to adjust, and also it's going to be part of our new member package. So we really appreciate you taking a look at us if you're a new member. Excited about having you join us and check us out and see what we're all about. So let me just go ahead and jump right in here. The Grown Folks Madden League actually started back in 2001. Whenever Madden began to make a PC game and start online leagues, I started a league called the Online Madden Football League, the OMFL. It's the longest online league on the internet. It's been going nonstop for over 15 years and has a lot of history, and at one time was up to 5 other leagues, a waiting list of 100 people, and we had a whole lot of fun. But this past year, we decided to do something a little bit different, and the OMFL is being ran by a different commission the last couple of years, and they do a great job. But we want to start a community for PlayStation 4 online gamers, and so we created the Gamers Community. And basically, we are just a community of online gamers for all kinds of sports games or shooters or whatever you're really into. And so this is our website, and these are kind of the different leagues that we got going on right now. Grown Folks, Winners Football Club, and of course our WWG 2K Wrestling League. We also have had a 2K NBA League. We have had an NHL League. We've had a Rocket League, all kinds of shooters. We play a ton of different games, and just right now we don't have a leader for those other games, and so these are the ones that we do have leaders for. So this is our website. I want to show you this real quick, and we try to update this every single week with Game of the Week and Week 3 advances and something from the blog, and of course I give some predictions. And so this is just an easy place to go to and kind of see some updates and see what's going on. One of our main sites is also our Daddy League site. And of course, this is where all the blogs are, and of course, there's the team pages, the stats, the standings, there's power rankings on here, all kinds of really, really good stuff. And so whenever you join the league, these are two of the main sites that we use. So whenever you join here and you're checking us out, I'm going to send you this link right here to our new member packet. The Grown Folks League really is all about community. We did not want to create a league where guys are just interested in playing games and just interested in winning and championships and all that stuff. That stuff is cool, and we want that, and we'll have that, and we do extra things to make sure that champions are able to enjoy it and really do something that they enjoy. But this really is a place where we want the extra stuff. We want extra commitments. We want extra blogs. We want podcasts. We want betting through. We want all of these extra things to really turn our league into something more than just a play league. So these are your board members right now. So your board members right now are Steve, Nolan, and Dogs. Our forum administrator is Winovus, who is the co-founder of the Gamers Online Community. And of course, I am the commish. And these are the guys that you go to when you have problems, when there's a gameplay issue, you have a question, you kind of want to know what's what, and if you got an issue with any other owner or any other game player or anything like this, you kind of go to one of your board members and just ask them for their advice or file a complaint or anything like that. So this really is the nuts and bolts of how our league is ran and how we operate. This isn't really a league where if you're in 4, 5, 6 leagues and you're just looking for another league to keep you busy and give you something to do, we're probably not going to be the league for you. We're really looking for guys who want to be a part of something more and will participate in our chats and podcasts and even possibly participate in our incentive plan that we have going. So you can see the owners list right here, this link right here. So if you click that, it's going to take you to the owners list, which we try to keep updated with their name for the forum, their PSN, and their Twitch accounts. So anytime you need any information like that, this link right here will get you there. So whenever you sign up for our league. We ask that you sign in to Gamers, create a profile, click this link right here, introduce yourself, tell us what games that you're interested in so we can give you forum access to those. And then we're going to bring you to our rules. And of course, I'm making a new video because the other one's been outdated. But whenever you click this link right here, it's going to bring you to our rules. And I know we always have a little bit back and forth. Guys say we have too big a rule book. Guys say we don't have enough rules. Look, been doing this for 15 years. These rules are pretty standard. We've made some addendums to adjust as every new game is. And as you progress through a game, new flaws are coming out and new habits are being formed that you got to unfortunately break. And unfortunately, we have to have a rule book. And a lot of that can be wrapped up in just one or two rules, but then you got to spell it out because you got lawyers who play Madden and they'll say that it wasn't in the rule book. So unfortunately, we got to spell a few things out, but they're pretty general. So respecting the Grown Folks Madden League is what we're all about. I expect people to not be passive aggressive, to not be aggressive on the chat, to not attack anyone, to not just go after someone in game, after game, anything like that. We're just asking for you guys to be grown folks, like the name of our league. Be grown, treat each other the right way. Look, have fun, rib, we're guys, do what you got to do, but keep it where it needs to be. Don't antagonize people. Don't be disrespectful. And don't do things that are just not appreciated and that really cross a line. So here's a couple addendums that we have to that. When the game is up and you're winning and it's late and you clearly see that the other guy has backed off, you back off. There's no reason to score when you're up 30-7 under 2 minutes. The guy isn't using timeouts and you have the ball. There's no reason to be passing or running tosses. There's just no reason for it, so don't do it. And we're just asking you to back off. Madden has a way of paying you back, and we're just asking you to keep it fair. No showboating, no celebrating. You get a pick, don't hit the showboat button. Back off. Some guys really take that personal, and we're just asking you not to do it. And another thing that we just recently added is I'm asking you not to participate in the chat during your game and not immediately following your game. When it comes to being negative, when it comes to complaining about how much you hate Madden, when it comes to complaining about how much you hate gameplay or how much you hate your team, or attacking the other guy and what you feel like he did wrong and he shouldn't have done and this and that. Either file a complaint or don't say anything at all. Be nice or leave. That's just kind of the way it's going to be. I expect guys to respect each other, and we're asking you to be really respectful for each other. Another thing is, a lot of our guys are families, and these are grown men. I have families. Be careful what you post on pictures, things like that. Some of us are at work on the chat. Some of us have our families around whenever you're on the chat. I'm just asking you to keep it clean and just watch what you're posting on our chats. Next thing is going to be our forums. I know that that's old-fashioned, but we insist that you use our forums. If you don't want to use forums and you don't understand them, then this probably isn't the league for you. But if you want to use the forums, use them. We expect every owner to schedule every single game, bare minimum, on the forums. You must make a post. You must tell them your time. You must post the time that it has been agreed upon, even if you talk through chat. It is a necessity. It must be done this way, or this won't be a league for you, and you can go find another place to play. And we're okay with that. This is our incentive plan. These are just something we added to give guys an opportunity and an incentive to participate in the forums. And so we have gold, silver, and bronze expectations. They're all spelled out in our incentive program, which can be found right here in our Media Center forum. I'll show you that in just a little bit. And if you do that, we give you a really cool Photoshop item. You get top free agent draft order. You get some extra trades, a confidence reset, all this really neat stuff. These are kind of what the cards will look like, and of course we've made them for guys. So we encourage participation. We encourage guys to be a supporter of our league and really participate in the extra things that we have going on. So here's the game scheduling. Each week is 72 hours in length. The first 36 hours reserved for scheduling on forums. If you can't schedule your game in that time, you can't make a post in that time, we'll give the other guy a win or a CPU game, whatever it takes to kind of move on. We have a guy who's over scheduling. We keep our forums pretty easy so that you can see where to schedule, how to schedule, and we have somebody who's watching over that. You'll get warned, and then after that, we're just going to find a new owner, and we're going to move on. So here in Grown Folks, here is our settings, the difficulty set at All Pro, of course, with sliders. We're constantly trying to tweak our sliders and make them the very best that we can. Quarter length has been bumped up to 10 minutes with Excel clock to 15 seconds. Games last about an hour, maybe a little bit past that, depending on how a game is being played. Game speed is at normal. We ask that all owners create a new coach. Do not use an existing coach. We like to start everybody off in the same plane. Custom playbooks are allowed, minus the banned playbooks of pistol, run and gun, run and shoot. Doesn't mean you can't have those plays. You just can't use those playbooks. Those are very specific playbooks that do not fit sim gameplay. All players must have show previous play option on, and you must turn the kick meter off. We ask that all owners required, at least one owner in every game is twitching the game and streaming it live, and that game is archived. If games are not archived, we may ask that you fix that or be removed from the league. We need to have games archived so that we can go back and see them in case there are any gameplay violations. And we want other guys to watch your games and create some excitement. So please make sure you know how to use Twitch. If you have any questions about that, you can come to the media forum. I'll show you how to post a blog on the Daddy League page, our incentive program, how to set your Twitch, how to use Twitch, and even a cool program called Multi-Twitch. If there are multiple games playing and you want to watch them, you can use Multi-Twitch and it'll show all the games at one time. It's a really cool feature. So make sure that you go to those links, ask for help if you need it. Here's some gameplay rules. All owners are expected to mix up play calling and use different formations, sets, and plays every snap. It's a simple line that is followed, and basically what I'm trying to say is if you follow a couple of simple rules, basic rules, then everything else kind of falls in place and takes care of ourselves. Our object isn't to have a 20-page rule book. I'd rather just get rid of an owner who's not fitting in, and we have done that, and we will continue to do that. But at the same time, we still have to have rules. So on offense, your run-pass ratio, your pass-run ratio should not go over 70-30 ever. Mix it up. You have to pass the ball if you're a runner, and you got to run the ball if you're a passer. Mix it up. Make sure you got that 70-30 mix at minimum. Love to see it around 50-50, but I know that doesn't always work. So just keep it as close to that 70-30 as possible. Anything over that is really unacceptable, and you're not trying very hard. On defense, a base defense is expected 4-3 or 3-4. It has to be used 65% of the time. Same on offense. You are not allowed to use shotgun as a base offense. It is not a base offense in Madden, and we expect a base offense of pro farm, weak, strong, I farm, something like that, far, near, not single back and shotgun the whole game. That isn't the kind of league that we are, and we expect guys to really mix it up. The use of run commit can be used in any 2-yard or less situations. Here's the main rule that kind of fixes everything if you do. Depending on the severity of the infraction or other circumstances, an owner may be removed for any violation. Here it is. Excessive is anything close to or more than half of your total offenses. That should say defensive plays also. If you are doing anything more than 60-65% of the time, that's excessive. If you're blitzing excessively, if you're running verticals excessively, if you're running cover 2 zone excessively, these are all things that we see often. These are all things we see a lot. Don't do them. It's not complicated or hard. Mix it up. Here's just some play calling rules that you should go through. Outside tackle runs must be 50% or under. You got to run up the middle. You can't just run tosses and sweeps because they are overpowered in this game. Your number one halfback should have no more than 80% of the carries of the game. That means your backup running back has to have carries. It has to be an 80-20 rule. Halfbacks may never play fullback. Quarterback runs cannot exceed 25% of your total runs. So we can't have a quarterback running for 30 times a game. It just shouldn't happen. No more than 25% of your games can be screen passes. I don't want to see 10 screen passes a game. Mix it up, make it fair. Use it the same play every third down is on on defense or offense is not sim football. Mix it up, call different plays. Excessive hot routing and audibling is not what is allowed. We are not allowing sketch a play. There are 600 plays in the playbook. Find a play that works and run it. You're not allowed to do more than 3 hot routes per play. This includes fake hot routes, slide protections, pass protections, defensive audibles, 3 per play, period. And we don't expect you to do a majority on your plays. Mix it up. Run the play that you called, period. That's what we expect. Quick snapping, unless under 2 minutes and a half, allow a couple seconds for the defense to get set. Manually sprinting outside the pocket with the quarterback right after the snap, not allowed. Passing when you get past the numbers, not allowed. When you get to the numbers, run it or throw it away. Because what happens, you get past the numbers, the defense sucks in, you get a wide open receiver. It's not real. It's stupid AI. Don't do it. Teams must use some form of a pro set offense. Like I said, no shotgun only, no far wide receivers only, no big only. Mix it up and change it up. So here's another one. All vertical routes or vertical type plays. Any play that are hot routed more than 2 vertical routes needs to be used on a limited basis. Calling on every down and long when you're losing is not sim. It's overpowered. Verticals are overpowered. So even if you pick a regular play and then hot route more than 2 routes vertical, stop it. Every third down and long, guys are going verticals. I've even seen all verticals inside the 5-yard line. Like, it's just not sim. And we want to see guys mix it up. And if guys complain about you and you can't adjust, then we're going to go ahead and remove you. Don't drop your quarterback past 10 yards. These are common things. Passing outside the numbers, excessive quick passing. So under a second, you've already got the ball out because you're running some kind of quick slant or something. Don't do that excessively. Excessively throwing to the halfback and fullback. Halfbacks and fullbacks shouldn't have 10, 15 catches a game. And then, of course, the all vertical routes. Ball carrying. Don't bump inside runs outside and outside runs inside. Every now and then it's going to happen. Sometimes guys are going to blow your play up. A hole's going to open up. Take it. But if every single time you call an inside run and you bounce it outside, or you call an outside run and you bounce it inside, that's a problem. Run the play where it's supposed to go, unless it's just absolutely blown up. Parallel running or sprinting to the sideline, horizontal running, edge running, those kinds of things, just back off. Even on kickoff returns, I've seen a lot of horizontal kickoff returns. Keep it real. Manually motioning a player and snapping the ball for their set, not allowed. Let him get set, then hike the ball. And then outside the tackle runs, again, like I said, need to be 50% or under. Mix it up. Defensive violations, excessive use of nickel, dime, dollar versus base is not allowed. Our rule of thumb is one more defensive back than wide receiver is called. So if he comes out in 2 wide receivers, you can call a 3 defensive back formation. If he comes out in 3, you can call 4. Of course, that doesn't count if he comes out in 2 wide receivers in 3rd and 21. If you want to call quarter and dime, like, I understand that, just not a normal defense. Excessive shifting of defensive line, linebackers, or show blitz, don't do it. You have to rush 3 defensive players every play minimum. Excessive use of man or zone, like, mix it up, keep it fair. Excessive blitzing every single first down, use of nano blitzes, blitzing every third down. These are things that are they're not sim, because in the NFL, the real players would catch on to what you're doing and stop it. And in Madden, the AI just runs what plays you call. And so don't do anything excessively. You should never be blitzing 75% of the game. It's just not realistic. Excessive use of only man coverage zone, like I said, use of run commit in non-prohibited situations. Don't do run commit if it's more than 2 yards. And then we reserve the right as a board to make a judgment call on any owners or violations that we feel. Play clock is not to be ran down every single play. We do have the run down to 15 seconds to kind of help speed it up and not let guys draw up their own play. But look, keep it real. Let's keep the ball moving. You shouldn't run the clock all the way down until you're under 3 minutes of either half. Fourth down. So this is always a big deal here. So we've tried to keep it as simple as possible. Anytime you're trailing in the fourth quarter or overtime, you can go for it. If you are losing, you can go for it anytime on a 4th and 2 or less and past the 50-yard line. So if you're past the 50 and it's 4th and 2 and less, you can go for it if you're losing. If you're ahead, you can go for it on 4th and 2 in the fourth quarter past the 50. So if you're winning the game, it's less than 4th and 2, you're past the 50, you can go for it in the fourth quarter only. All other fourth quarter or fourth down situations, you must punt or kick the field goal. Any fake punt or fake field goal also falls under the fourth down restrictions. And so if you can go for it on fourth, then you can do a fake field goal or punt. Other than that, you can't do it. Onside kicks are only done by the losing team in the fourth quarter. No one else can do them. No huddle is only allowed in the last 2 minutes of either half, or if you're losing by more than 14 points in the second half. And a team losing in the fourth quarter, no matter what the amount, you can run no huddle. Just let the defense get set. All right, keep it as real as possible. Pre-snap movement. Defensive lineman, no manual movement is allowed, just line shifts or audibles. That's about it. Linebackers, manual movement is allowed inside the linebacker box, but not to the line of scrimmage. Safeties and cornerbacks, manual movement is allowed up to the linebacker box, and that's about it. It must be outside of those edges and not inside the box. If you're outside the hashes, you can move up to the line of scrimmage if you're a DB. You're only allowed to move one player pre-snap, and you're not allowed to switch into any other player until the ball is snapped. So if you move a guy, you must stay as that guy until the ball is snapped, and then you can swap. Other than that, don't move guys around. And of course, audibles are allowed. Special teams, no movement is allowed pre-snap. Wait till the ball is snapped. Quitting games is the golden rule here. Never quit a game. No matter what, if you quit a game, it's automatic removal, no questions asked. Thank you for playing, but you just cannot quit a game. If things are really bad, wait, finish the game out. Maybe pause and say something if it's terrible. And if you guys disagree, finish the game, then file a complaint. Disconnects. This is a huge pain in the neck, but here's what we ask. Here's some guidelines that we list, but we ask you to figure it out. You're grown men. Talk it out. Figure it out. If you can't, then here's some guidelines. If it disconnects in the first half, no matter the score, no matter what, replay the game. If you played a whole half, then replay another half of football, add the 2 scores up from both the halves. The winner gets the sim win. If you're in the third quarter and it's a blowout, we'll give somebody the sim win. In the fourth quarter, if it's a blowout, we'll give the other guy a win if both teams agree. Basically, what I tell guys is play whatever was left. If there was a quarter of football left and it was a tie game, play a quarter, add the 2 scores up, figure it out. All right? I'm not into babysitting people. Figure it out. These are just guidelines for you to talk about. It's up to the owner to report a rules violation. If you feel like you can't do it or you want to keep it to yourself, that's on you. But then don't complain that things aren't what you want them to be, okay? Here's our board members that we talked about a little bit a while ago. Now we're just kind of getting into how the league operates. We do use the in-game cap system. Here's an amendment to our trades. We allow 2 trades in the Grown Folks Madden League. For it to be a trade, it must include an 80 plus player, so 80 overall or above, a second round or a first round draft pick. If it doesn't include one of those, then it doesn't count as a trade. You can do it freely. You post it and it doesn't count towards your team. You don't have to get approval. With that said, if we see something that's just way out of bounds, then we're going to nix it and we're going to tell you can't do it, rework it. So for it to count as a trade, 80 overall and above, second round and above. And in those trades, every Madden in game, when you go to make a trade, has 3 slots. That's what we allow. Every trade allows 3 slots. A draft pick that's second round counts as 1 slot. Player 80 overall to 89 overall counts as 1 slot. A first round draft kit counts as 2 of those slots. A player rated 90 to 99 overall counts as all 3 slots. So you just got to figure out what you're making the trade for, what they count for, and how many trades that you have left. Again, anything under 80 overall, third round under, does not count as a trade, and you can freely do that. You post it in the form. Both teams have to agree. It's got to be posted the correct way. Whenever you go to the trade form, there's a sticky on there. It shows you exactly how to post a trade. Follow those guidelines. Make sure both teams agree, and then you can do it. We retain the option of declining any trade that we feel may destroy a team. Owners leave all the time, and it becomes very difficult to fill teams if we allow you to destroy it. A player that's drafted cannot be traded their rookie year, but they may be traded after that. A player with a cap hit of 12 million or more may not be traded. They must be cut. And it must be posted correctly. A trade must have the age of the player, the overall of the player pulled from the Daddy League site, the position of the player, the salary cap hit of the site, and a link to that Daddy League profile player's page. So please make sure that is in every post. In-game season free agency after the season started. Whenever we want to sign a player, you're allowed 5 players per advance. If they are rated 79 or under, you may sign them with no post, no nothing. You can sign them, they're yours. If they are 80 or over, you must post a waiver claim. We have a waiver form. You post their name, the overall, and that you will place a claim. 24 hours after that post, if anyone else has placed a claim, we figure who had the highest draft order in the waiver wire. That player is awarded the player, that coach is awarded the player, and then we move on. The first season out of the box and in the off season after the draft, we do a point system. So when the draft is over, every team is awarded 10 points. You may bid up to 5 players. You bid how many points you want to bid on that player. 24 hours, we close all bids. Whoever bid the most points wins the player. You may not move points around if you lose a bid, anything like that. If a guy outbids you and you're not going to outbid him, you get those points back. You may use them somewhere else. And it's basically an easy system for us to see who gets who after the offseason. When we get through an offseason and a draft, we advance through the first 3 weeks of the preseason. We sit in week 4 of the preseason for 24 hours for the waiver wire, or the points bidding system, and for guys to get their teams to 53. And if you want to play your preseason game, you may do so. Roster minimum is 53. You must have 53 players on your roster at all times. You may be used the IR system controlled by the game. When you're re-signing a player that is on your team during the season, you may only sign 5 of them. So if you have a list of players that you're signing during the season, 5 of them you can sign following our rules. No 6 or 7 year deals. If they're under 30, you can only offer them a 5-year max deal. 30 to 34, 4-year max deal. 35 and over 2-year max deal. If you mess this up, you will cut the player. You will get the cap hit. We'll allow you to sign the player right back to a 1-year deal and then sign him the correct way, but you're going to have to eat that cap hit. So don't break this rule. If your list of guys that you signed during the season is more than 5, you are allowed to use a franchise tag. So you can keep 6 of your players. Anyone over the 5 that you sign and the 1 franchise tag must be released into free agency, and you can bid on them during free agency. This excludes any 1-year contracts that you're going to get before the offseason starts. Fullbacks, kickers, punters, those don't count. There's a spreadsheet that will be updated every week so we can keep track of who is to be signed. Bonus payout. Any contract of 3 years or longer must have a bonus of 10% of the base salary often. Here's some examples if you have a question asked. The players that you're re-signing in the season, they must also have 10% of their bonus off of their base salary. Here's an example if you need it. If the player is 30 years or older, it must be 20% as a bonus from the base salary. No team is allowed to have more than $25 million in cap penalties any single year. If that's from cuts or trades or anything that you do, don't go over it. That is your limit. Off-season free agency and draft, we've explained. We always post a timeline whenever we get into the off-season, so just stay tuned and you'll see that. Position changes. So here's our chart of where players can play. Quarterback can only play quarterback. Halfback can play halfback or wide receiver. I can't talk today, sorry. If you play wide receiver, they must be third wide receiver or deeper. They cannot be a starting wide receiver for your team. Fullback can play fullback, tight end, or halfback. Tight end can play tight end or fullback. If they play fullback, they must have 90 speed or lower, cannot be over 90 speed. A wide receiver can play wide receiver or tight end. If they play tight end, they must be 80 speed or lower. We're allowing that for older wide receivers who are big and bodied and want to move over to tight end because they're now 80 speed, 79 speed, whatever. We're allowing that so they can move over there. Tackle, offensive line period, can play any position. So tackles, guards, and centers. Guards can play tackles and centers. Centers can play guards and tackles. Defensive line can move around. Defensive ends can play defensive end, defensive tackle, and outside linebacker. Defensive tackle can play defensive end, defensive tackle. Outside linebackers can play any linebacker position plus defensive end. Middle linebackers can play any linebacker position only. Cornerbacks. They can play cornerback, free safety, strong safety. If they play free or strong, they must have 90 speed or lower. Don't want to see 99 speed cornerbacks playing free safety here. Free safety can play safety cornerback. Safety can play free safety cornerback. So safeties are interchangeable and they can also play cornerback. Kickers can be punters. Punters can be kickers. These are also the positions that you can move during the offseason. If you have a player that you want to move to a position that is not allowed in these position changes, then we will have a thread that is listed every offseason. You can only move those players during the offseason. You are allowed to post where you want to move them, why you feel like that should be allowed, and give your side of the case. The board will then consider it and then give you our ruling on if it is allowed. Formation subs used consistently is frowned upon, other than halfback sub for the 80-20 rule. No other positions beside halfback, fullback, tight end can be in the position for third running back in the depth chart. Here's what you're required to have. 3 halfbacks. This is on top of Madden minimums. 4 wide receivers. A combination of 4 tight ends or fullbacks. So 4 players that are either tight end or fullback. Can be 3 tight ends, 1 fullback, 2 fullbacks, 2 tight ends, 3 fullbacks, 1 tight end. I don't care. Some combination of 4 players at tight end and fullback. 8 offensive linemen, 4 cornerbacks, and 4 safeties. Any combination of free and strong. Whenever you join the franchise, like we said, please create a new coach only. We don't allow owner mode just yet. Confidence reset. We will reset confidence going into week 1. We will reset confidence going into the off season, And if you want to have your confidence reset during your bye week, you must make a post asking us to reset it in the schedule forum. No post, no reset. Basically, players who are under 50 get reset to 50. Any players over 50 stay where they're at. It does not take them down to 50. So there is a look at our rules. If you go to our media center, you can see our team news section. These are where guys post their blog pages, and it basically links over to our blog, for our Daddy League site. So you can see our blog here, all the different posts from the different teams. You can also see the how-to articles that we've posted. If there's not something there that you need help on, just say something. I also post the Press Pass Live, which is our weekly podcast that I do every single Sunday to catch us up in the league. You also see website updates, Hot Seat, which is an article that I do with owners here. Those are all going to be in the media forum. When you're a new member, like we said a little while ago, sign up, go through the rules, make sure that you understand them. Make sure that you join our Daddy League page. If you've never been on Daddy League, you have to register for Daddy League. After you register, you go to this link right here, you hit join, I'll do the rest for you. Then you need to send me a message on GroupMe. It needs to include your PlayStation name, it needs to include your forum name, it needs to include your Twitch account so that I can have all of that information to send you the league invite, get you set up on Daddy League, and update our owners page. Please create a new custom coach. Step 5 is just get caught up on our general forum. Look around, see what's going on, catch up as much as possible. If your game hasn't been played, schedule it, get it going, and make sure that you find out who you play and get that game played. Please make sure to add your team name to your group me name so that we can easily tell who is what team. We've also added those easy tutorials, so if you need any help on posting blogs, setting up Twitch, or anything that goes on here in Incentive, you can just go to our media forum and check those out. If you're going to be out of town, you know that you're going to be gone for a couple of days, please set yourself on auto and then post in this link right here just so that we know where you're at and we don't start assuming that you have disappeared, because guys have done that before. If we don't hear from you for a couple of days, we'll assume that you're gone, we'll replace you, and I don't want that to happen. And of course, this is our link for our incentive-based program that we have, and we'd love for you to be a part of it and be a part of what we do here. So this is how we operate. This is just a easy video for me to make to go through the rules. Again, the Daddy League page and the website is going to have tons of cool information and stuff that you want to know about, so check it out. Thank you for checking us out. I think this is one of the coolest places to play Madden, and I appreciate all of our owners and what they do here. And we're excited about us growing and where we're going, and we're always looking for more input. Every off season we will also have awards that we post up, and we'll have an opportunity for owners to give us their suggestions of things that they would like to see happen in our league as we continue to grow and become better. So thank you guys for watching the video. Welcome to the league if you're a new owner. We will see you guys in the next Press Pass and playing along.